Alright, so I'm back, and today we are going to be taking a look at the, as you see I got the board out here, and we're going to look at the three different Headstrongs. And today I decided I'm going to start in the combined mode for the three, and just kind of go from there. As you can see, okay, first off, all of them have extra parts that come with them. He's got this fist, which does no good in his combined mode, but it does connect to dive bomb. This fist goes to dive bomb, yeah. I can't remember if I got these the feet plate right. If the hands are completely interchangeable, so it doesn't really matter who goes where. He also comes with these two guns, which, again, I'm assuming will connect to the big gun. And he's also got his two knives, which I do know connect into the big sword. He comes with this, which connects into the big sword. And Unique Toys comes with a sword, which doesn't connect to anything. As far as combined mode goes, let's see, I mean, posability, he's the knee joint, so it does rotate. The heel, or the ankle has a good tilt to it. He's got ratcheted toes, go up and down. The toes themselves are individually posable, and the heel does rotate, and he's got LEDs for his toes. So it's a pretty solid looking foot. And it the way he connects is via two little ports right there. And so with the two ports, it actually makes it pretty sturdy. TFC's Headstrong in his combined mode. He's got everything that he comes with does integrate, so that is a bonus for him. But he doesn't have the back part of the foot because that comes with a different character. So, and we're only looking at what comes with the characters. So, he's a pretty big, good sized leg. Looks pretty good. I mean, yeah, you get to see a lot of torso here, the waist piece and all that, but you see that with him too, and you see the torso and the knees on him. So it's a bunch of robots that combined into a bigger robot. You're not going to get away from that. So I forgive him for that. The foot, toes do pose a little bit up and down. The foot itself can rotate side to side, and it rotates side to side here like this. So you've got to get ankle tilt, and this also will go back and forth. Now, this is where I don't like TFC designs. While this black piece right here, you gotta, it pegs into both sides of his legs, and the legs themselves have their own ports, so they plug in. And when they plug it in, it all sits in there very tightly, very securely. But this is a big but. This port here is just a standard 5mm port that just slides onto there, and I don't feel that that's a very secure connection. It swivels side to side very loosely, and it doesn't feel as secure as the Unique Toys ones. The foot itself does feel a little unstable, but that could be partially because it doesn't have that back piece to it. So I'm not going to really fault it on that. because it could be something else, but I will fault it on the way it connects together. I mean, other than that, it does look like a good leg. I do like it. But I fear its stability. Mastermind Creations leg here. He rotates side to side. It goes back and forward, rotates around. It's basically on a giant ball joint in there. Which I mean, he's a lot more stable on the actual toe. But it makes me question, how, I mean, ball joints don't last very long. So that's one thing I'm kind of concerned on. There's no posability in the toes. This is all just basically one big piece. I mean, yeah, it's a bunch of little pieces, but it's basically just, it doesn't do anything. And the calf, I guess this would be the calf right here. It's got a lot of kibble going on there. And I'm not a huge fan of that. It does look good when it's all put together. But as it stands right here, it looks a little weird, personally. So overall, for combine mode, I'm actually only going to give 1 point to the Unique Toys one. Of the three, I'm worried about his port, just a 5mm port. He's on a ball joint, whereas he is on that hinge. I mean, it works. His foot is more posable than both of those put together. Even though he doesn't have the, rotation and back and forth. I mean, he's supposed to be the right leg, so his ankles tilt into the right. That's all it needs. He's got the LEDs, and like I said, it's more posable, and it feels just more stable. I'm not a huge fan of that. And then, I mean, his doesn't come off, but like I said, I mean, that ball joint concerns me on the longevity of the foot. So, yeah. Unique Toys, I think, steals the day on the combined mode for the leg on this set. So, I'm going to go ahead and get him into beast mode, and then we will go from there. And then we'll end in robot mode. I think ending in robot mode is probably the better way to go. Alright, so now we got them all into beast mode, and I got them all weaponized. So yeah, he still doesn't have a way to really store his sword. And this thing, which is like the heel or the ankle for the foot, just kind of goes off to the side as well. You can probably find a place to port it in, just kind of store it. I mean, you can do the same with the sword too. It looks a little weird because it's not really designed to do that. They're supposed more or less just sit off to the side. But you can if you must. Unique Toys, he's still got his sword that just sits off to the side. Mastermind Creations, he's got better ports for everything, and you can kind of port everything in. As you can see, they can all use the foot in attack mode. I don't like it. I never have. I never will. So, let's get these stupid things off. I mean, their feet. And then he's got a tail. If you port the foot onto him, he can't use the tail, but he does have a tail. It's a little tail, but it is there. Take this stuff off. And then he also has a tail. And take this piece off. his port's in the sturdiest. Followed by Unique Toys, and then TFC at the end. And so yeah, there they all in Rhino mode. It's kind of funny. I mean, looking at them now, all in Beast mode, but he fails as a beast. I mean, he just does. I mean, he looks like a robot that's just kind of laying down. The other two actually look like rhinos, but look at the size of his head. Okay, and you know, I kind of joked about his head, Mastermind Creations' head being too small, but oh, they are almost the same size. I get a kick out of that, and his horn is actually longer, and he's got the biggest noggin of them all, and it's actually a better sculpt towards a rhino than the other two. Whereas the other two definitely look like robotic rhinos. He's more similar to an actual rhino, kind of rounded features and such. Which is really nice. I do dig that. Mouth opens and closes. When you have it open just a little bit, it does resemble more of a rhino. Whereas these guys, you know, you open it up and you see a robot face inside. Not quite a rhino look. Again, not quite a rhino look. But, so, yeah. Posability wise, his arms lock in, but it is on a ball joint, so rotates around. Elbows on a ball joint, swivel at the thigh, heel rotation there. I'll pull this out. Back legs on a heel, or hinge and ball joint. Knees on a ball joint, swivel us right below the knee, and the foot does pivot. These do have a tendency of coming off real easily, so. His head is on a ball joint. Looks left, right, up, down, rotates a little bit. The robot head on the inside does hinder a little bit. The ears are posable. Opens up the mouth. The horn rotates. The shoulder swivels. It's got a little bit of a hinge in there. He's a little bow-legged, and I mentioned that before, and I don't like that. Elbow bends, but when you're trying to bend it back, this doesn't really lock in, so you kind of get a backwards broken leg syndrome. Foot is on a ball joint. These are not on there very well. I calls them like I sees them. Tail goes up and down, rotates at the thigh. There's a little bit of hinge in there. This doesn't lock in very well. Knee bends here, and then the foot does have a bend to it as well. And then for the Mastermind Creations one, head can swivel, goes up and down a little bit. Mouth opens and closes, but you don't want to open it too far because you get robot face in there. Shoulders are on ball joints, so in, out, up, down, all around. Ball joint at the knee, and a ball joint at the foot with a hinge in there as well. Does it have a... No, just the ball joint foot. Back leg, ball joint, rotates out, ball joint, ball joint. So pretty good posability there. So yeah, they all are having trouble standing all of a sudden. for beast mode, obviously Unique Toys is out of the picture there. So it really comes down to these two. And when we're just talking about the look of the beast mode, I actually have to give it to the TFC. I think he makes a more convincing Rhino. I mean, the way the legs are posable, you know, they're kind of backward angled like they should be. There's people fighting outside. Might have to go in that. Oh, hey, look at that. If you bend his shoulders in, he's no longer bow-legged, and it has more of a... Okay, yeah, he definitely wins. I like that a lot. That's actually really cool. So TFC wins the beast mode. Alright. And it just, you know, I like the Mastermind creations. They look good. But this, in comparison, you know, he just looks like a better Rhino. And he looks more like a block. And Unique Toys is not even in that competition there. So let's go ahead and get these guys into robot mode. Alright, so we got them into robot mode. And, oh, I guess almost into robot mode. I forgot a piece. And yeah, they're all really, really cool. Well, these two are. I'm still in full. This is the weakest of the Unique Toys group. He just looks terrible, to be honest. So let's do scale real quick. So here is the Classics Seeker. So if you were going with the Classic Seekers, you know, you could have a little bit of a bigger bot for the TFC guy, or about the same size with Unique Toys. But I don't think the Mastermind Creations works for this scale unless you're okay with having a huge robot. But if you have him, who he scales very well with both him and the TFC guy. So, depending on your own personal collection, they all potentially can scale with everybody. So they're all going to get a point there. Transformation. Now I've gone through transformation. He's incredibly simple. So, he doesn't lock in very well. I mentioned that earlier in this video. This part doesn't lock in. You guys see me freaking out about this thing not locking in. Overall, he just doesn't lock as well as he should. And he's just a simple piece of mess. Whereas everything locks in perfectly. Very sturdy clicks and chunks, and it feels just right. So for transformation, I give it to the Mastermind creation. As far as kibble goes, yeah, he's got a little bit of arms sticking out here, and the backs of the feet sticking out there. He's got the feet sticking out here and here, and the feet sticking out here and here. And they all have obviously the head. And he's got the feet kind of compressed back here and feet compressed back here. They all do a really good job with their kibble, disguising it, and they all do a very good job of what they're supposed to do. So, and as far as the head goes, I mean, that's That was a G1 look, so it's part of his look. Now, both of these guys have their head correctly attached. His head is not. It's supposed to be like this, not like this. It doesn't hinder too much, but it is a noticeable flaw in the design that it can't go to G1. So as far as kibble goes, I'm actually going to give a point to all three. Now, playability, he's fun to mess with. I absolutely love. I keep catching myself grabbing him and playing around with him. He's also really fun toy to play with as well. You know, mostly because he's so quick to transform. He's not as fun to play with because things don't lock into place, and it's easy for him to get out of position because things don't lock into place. It's really irritating and very annoying and makes it not a very fun toy. So for playability, I give it to Unique Toys and Mastermind Creations, and not TFC. Robot mode. One thing I want to show off with the TFC one, in case you guys didn't see my earlier review of him, you can open up this chest, and you can take this whole head here, and you can fit it into the chest. By doing that, you're giving him a different look entirely than the other guys. I like that. It's very nice. This kind of goes into style too, but it's very nice that they were able to do both and make it work. So they did a very good job with that portion of it. I really like that. The fact that you can go with a G1 look, or you can go with an updated look. I like that. He's good for an updated style. I think Bovis, because of his colors, pulls it off better. So for Robot, I'm going to give it to both of these. And for style, I'm actually going to give it to TFC. Like I said, both of them can win points. G1 obviously goes to Unique Toys. He does look like a straight up, updated, more posable version of Headstrong from G1. So he wins G1 hands down. And the last, certainly not least, accessories. So we'll start with Unique Toys. Set these guys back a little bit. He comes with a sword. Now I know what you're saying. Don't they also have guns? Well, the guns come with Rampage, so they can't go towards him because he doesn't come with the guns. He does have his foot plate, which doesn't have anywhere to go while he's in robot mode, so he just sits there. That's it. That's all he can do. TFC. Now, he can hold his sword. I still have the problem with the wrist, as you can see, but that doesn't change the fact that he can hold his sword. You can take this piece. You have to take this piece off in order to do this, and just hope you don't lose it. This will plug in here, and he's got kind of a gun type thing. You can take these feet, since they're split apart, they're actually more playable than the other two. But you can plug them back here, and you can have like a underarm cannon there. You can plug them onto the back. you know, go that route. I mean, there's so many different ports. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ports and 1 peg. 8 ports if you count right here as well. So he's got 8 ports on each foot. So you can really get it wherever you want to. So it does have a lot of playability there with the accessories. You can really mix and match it and make him look different however you want to do him. And it just works really well. The only thing is this thing doesn't have really anywhere to go, so I usually just plug it in, you know, wherever I can find a port that will hold it. Some of those 5mm ports on this guy aren't quite 5mm. They're a little bit too small, or they're a little too big. So it's a little unfortunate, but you can work around it. And he's got these big wrist-mounted blasters that you can plug in, and these can extend. And he's got his knives, and I really, really hate Mastermind Creations knives. They're really, really. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to do it because I lost Bovis's thumb to him. So I'm just going to plug this in down here. He's got storage for his knives. He's got storage for his guns. It is nice. And then you can take the whole foot plate here. You fold this black piece in. And then all these little slots right here will slot into the back right here. And he just slots together. Makes him a little back heavy, but he's got really big, wide feet and really big legs. So, and heavy legs too. He's got a lot of mass to him. So as far as the accessories go, I'm gonna have to get it to both Mastermind Creations and TFC. They integrate very well. He's got a little bit more playability with the feet, but he's got more going on. Like this big thing, it looks stupid. I don't like it at all. I don't know why they'd think that'd make a convincing gun. It looks like he's got a fan or a searchlight. And the sword looks goofy. The knives on him look good, but I can't use them very well. And the wrist-mounted cannons, I mean, those are always fun. And then he's got the whole foot assembly on his back, and he can stand really well with it. Oh, and it just came off, but so these guys, I will give both of them weapons and accessories. Unique toys, because it cannot utilize the foot in robot mode, really hinders his accessories. You know, he's got this big thing that just sits there. I know it works out really well with Razor Claw. Yeah, he's got a lot of accessories that sit aside, but when it goes into combined mode, it really makes a difference. That's just a foot. These guys have the same thing. They just integrate it better in robot mode and beast mode, for that matter. He does not. So, overall, what do we got here? Mastermind Creations has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. TFC has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Unique Toys has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's actually a tie. And I hate doing ties, but I mean that's just how it went. I don't have these planned out when I'm doing these videos. I just kind of go. So it's a tie between Mastermind Creations and TFC. They're both really nice. You can't go wrong with either one, to be honest. He has his problems because things don't lock in, but You know, his beast mode's doesn't look as good as his. The combined mode doesn't look as good as his. Style wise, I love the fact that you're able to do this new updated look. I've said this before, but it's really funny how if they gave us this figure like this, and this is the only way to pose him, I'd be upset. But because I have the option of going G1 or going Neo, that makes me happy. I think that's a very good way for him to do this. Works really well. So all in all, this round goes to both of these guys. We will be taking a look at Tantrum next, and that's where Unique Toys really stepped up a lot. I know a lot of people said that he was a step up, but I think Dive Bomb was a much superior figure, so that he was more of a step back. And Tantrum is a huge improvement of them, or for their sets. So he's actually my second favorite of the Unique Toys set. So I'm really looking forward to doing Tantrum review, because it's going to be really difficult to choose which one's the better one, because they're all going to be pretty good. But yeah, so far, since these guys were tied, we'll go into when we go into the actual combined mode, or the actual Predaking review like this. Mastermind Creations is going to start off with 2 points, and TFC is going to start off with 1, and Unique Toys will start out with 0. So once we get there, we will definitely look at see how well everything is. But for now, unfortunately, Mastermind Creations is winning by 2. TFC's winning is right in the middle with 1, and Unique Toys has 0 points going into Predaking when we get there. So yeah, I guess that's really all there is to say about these guys. Question of the day is obviously, which one do you guys prefer? Yeah, looking at him right here, I actually do have to say Headstrong just looks. I mean, that's why I gave him the style point. He just looks like the best. I really like him like this. I have really irritations with him with like these things not locking in, but that's a different matter altogether. But as he is, he's actually pretty cool. Tantrum's another matter.